as a CEO, you're the leader of the organization, and the leader always eats last. Don't nobody tell you that. No. Nobody tells you that. When you are an employee and you're working a 9 to 5, you're just concerned with not allowing somebody to tell you when you can go to lunch. When you become an entrepreneur, you might not get the lunch at all.
Ghetto. Good idea. Now we buying merch. That's ghetto. Payment miss. Ooh, the ghetto. Say she quit. Ooh, the ghetto. Late on your rent. Rent is ghetto. New event. Ooh, the ghetto. Invoice in. That ain't ghetto. Money spin. Oh, that's ghetto. Hold on. It's kind of ghetto being a CEO.
And welcome back to another episode of the Ghetto CEO podcast, where we keep it raw and unfiltered. Because y'all, being a CEO is giving very much ghetto, and I don't like how the streets don't tell y'all that this stuff is hard, okay? And so we really tell you the raw and unfiltered truth behind the podcast. And today, y'all, we have, listen, I would say she is a dear friend, but she is really more like a sister to me, because I be calling her, I be like, Donni, help me, I'm crying. She's like, okay, Monrae, you got 10 minutes to cry, right? But I want y'all to meet the Donni Wiggins.
Okay,
Yes.
I like that. Introduce me. Refer to me as the from now on.
Because you can't step on what?
Don't diminish my name in these streets. I'm the Donni Wiggins. I love it.
You gotta have a pause and everything.
The Donni Wiggins. Absolutely.
Tell them who you are, girl.
I am the Donni Wiggins. I'm a business development coach and a podcaster of 2 pretty dope podcasts, Social Proof and Full Transparency. And I'm Monrae's big sister. I think that's the most important thing here.
Yes, period. That's listen, you know, I'm going to let your daughter have her title, but then
right.
It's
you. People are going to think that we're blood sisters. So I just got to say that we've built this relationship, and I love her dearly. She loves me. You love me dearly?
Yes, I love you.
Okay. So, you know, that's what we do now.
Yes, I love it. Well, welcome, Donni. This is a conversation about being a CEO, you know, and you've been a CEO for a long time, girl.
Yeah.
So how did you start on this journey? What did this look like for you?
Oh, gosh. The journey has looked very different along the years. So I have been wanting to be a CEO since I was like 17 years old. I identified that very early. I went to college for engineering, and between the money that my parents were sending me and my refund checks, it just wasn't enough.
It wasn't math.
The math was not mathing, and I'm like, I'm pretty good at math, and this shit just ain't adding up, right?
Facts.
So I started a business with my then college roommate.
Okay.
What happened was we were riding around with her cousin, who was an adult at the time, and he's riding around picking up checks from these sites. He used to do office cleaning, commercial office cleaning.
Got it.
And he's riding around picking up checks, you know, looking at his sites. And I'm looking at it like, I can do that. And so he put us on to a couple of little ropes, gave us some plugs, and we started a cleaning business.
Oh, wow. Donni Wiggins?
First of all. Okay.
Wow.
So I didn't understand delegation at that time.
Okay.
Right? The part that I missed about touring with him was that he wasn't cleaning anything. He had a crew.
Okay.
But we didn't have a crew.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can keep all the money and go in here and get the contracts and clean.
Yeah.
Girl, the first toilet.
Because I'm like,
Quit.
Y'all, if y'all know Donni is a germ of foe. Like, so the thought of you even cleaning somebody else's house.
So we're in commercial offices, and I'm thinking, so I had not gone into a bathroom with him. We're just going to check like offices and phones, make sure dust and stuff isn't. And I'm like, I can vacuum.
Yeah.
I can dust off some phones.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's a bathroom, and there's plenty of toilets in a commercial building. Done. Close shop right now. Close shop right now. And so I've just been journeying, and I ended up going to corporate America. I dropped out of school.
Okay.
And I ended up going into corporate America, trying everything from like car sales to real estate to retail. I own some clothing stores. And what I did a lot of was just trying stuff. And then what ended up happening was back in like 2008, 2010 timeframe, I lost everything. I was in real estate at that time. There was a recession that happened at that time.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about managing money. So all of the money that I was making, I was shopping like right up the street from here, just doing a lot of shopping. And I foreclosed on my property, lost my vehicles as a single mom, like within 6 months or so of that. And the job that I had when that happened, I was both the property manager and a realtor. So I was doing about $250,000 a year between my salary and commission, Well, when this recession happened and people weren't hiring, when they finally started to, I tried to go back into that property management space. And they was trying to pay your girl $11 an hour.
Oh, no, ma'am.
But it was a yes, ma'am.
Oh.
It was a ghetto ass yes. Okay? Because I had to do what I had to do.
Yep.
I couldn't, so I was living with my mom. I had to move back in with my mom. I have a daughter. And the way our house was set up at that time, my mom had to come out of her bedroom and walk past mine. And ain't no way my mama was going to keep walking past my bedroom looking at me like, oh, so you just relaxing?
Right.
You just chilling? So I had to end up taking that job at $11 an hour. And myself and a friend of mine were really into fashion, and I needed more money than that. So we started selling like just clothes or things that we didn't wear anymore on eBay.
Okay.
And we're making money selling things on eBay. Well, I run out of stuff to sell, and I start going like to TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Ross and buying stuff on their clearance.
Yeah.
And started selling that for a profit. And before you knew it, we ended up having enough money where we could open a clothing store.
Wow.
And that was in 2010. That was my first I tried so many entrepreneurial ventures, but that was the one that finally stuck. And I had for a couple of years.
First of all, hustling Donni.
What?
Figure it out.
That's what I do.
I'm not new to this.
No lie. Right next to my bed. So I have affirmations. You ever watch that show, Being Mary Jane?
Yes.
And she has the Post-it notes everywhere. Well,
yes.
I am Mary Jane in real life, right? And have been. In my bathroom, I have affirmations like posted on the wall everywhere.
Okay.
But next to my bed, I have one very important one, and it carries me through my whole life, is I believe in my ability to figure it out.
Ooh, I love that.
Period. Like, we ain't getting no money, I'm going to figure it out. Business ain't working, I'm going to figure it out. Team ain't doing what they supposed to do, I'm going to figure it out. I don't like the end result, I'm going to figure it out.
Got to.
Yeah.
Got to. So, Donni, you've been doing this for a while. Now you are doing podcasting. You stepping in. Y'all, Donni is like my big sister because she calls me and really checks me about all the things. Okay, y'all don't know how many times she's like, you need to raise that price. You selling it for what you doing, right?
Yeah.
But you are a business coach, you're doing podcasting. So what is this new podcast that you have launched?
Yes. So in addition to, for clarity, I am a business coach.
Yes.
Based on the experience that I've had in all these businesses.
Right.
And so David and I have the Social Proof podcast, which is like an entrepreneur's playground. You come in and you learn all these things.
Yes.
And throughout it, there was a lot of demand for me to have my own solo podcast.
Yeah.
And David is like, you need to start this solo podcast. And your girl was scared, okay?
Wow.
It was not fear of the ability to do a podcast or carry a conversation. It was, I'm involved in so much stuff. I fear not being able to show up. Right? I fear not operating in integrity.
Yeah.
And if I put a podcast out there that's supposed to drop every single week and I don't make time for it and now I've skipped 2 or 3 weeks, that's not operating in integrity. I'm not doing what I said I was going to do.
Facts.
So I was really, really scared of taking on a new major task. Podcasting ain't no little light work.
No.
It's not like this is a full-time job. This is a business in addition to your business.
Absolutely.
We ain't sitting behind no camera phone right now, okay? Like, we ain't just at the crib chilling behind the camera. Y'all can't see it. There's a whole production set up.
Yes.
And that's money, that's time, that's research, that's testing.
Yeah.
But anyway, we launched in February of 2023, full transparency, with Donni Wiggins, and I am loving it.
Oh my God.
I am loving it. This too is a podcast for entrepreneurs, but I was just telling you, we have a very similar concept. It's more of not just the how-tos of how you're building your business, but who are you as a CEO?
Yes.
I want people to fall in love with you or not as a CEO, know what it looks like behind the scenes. What are you dealing with today? What are you struggling with today? What's been the biggest struggle? Where you get the money from, sis?
Where was that? How did you flip that $500?
How you flip?
15 times?
How you flip that brick into this multi-million-dollar business, sir?
Period.
I want to know because I know what you was doing before this. Don't play.
Yes, let us know. Okay, the real play.
Right, because there are still people out there getting to the bricks, and they need to flip it quick.
Right.
So walk me through that process.
Right.
Right. Yeah. How you stay
that.
married?
Yes.
How you doing? How you got this kind of work ethic and you're still married? Like these are the questions. Like people struggle with this information, and it sounds it sounds ghetto. It sounds crazy, but it's real. Whether you're white, black, Asian, or indifferent, these are issues that we deal with as CEOs.
Yes, I love that. Did you struggle with stepping out from you and David's tandem? Like, did you think that you would have it on your own, you know?
Yeah. So, okay. Full answer. When I lost everything, at that time, Facebook is what was popping.
Okay.
And I used to blog. Like, I had this concept in my head that I lost everything. I was known in my circle and in my community of friends at that time as being the one. Like, Donni gonna be successful. She got it, right? People have always set a high standard for me.
Yeah.
So when I lost everything, it was a very humbling, embarrassing experience.
Right.
And I had to make a choice.
Yeah.
Do I let people tell my story, or do I tell my story and control the narrative?
Right.
So through Facebook, would blog and vlog about what was happening in my life and really showing people, like, y'all, I lost it all, but y'all about to see this come up.
Period.
Like, you about
I
to
love
see
it.
when I got my clothing store, you're about to see firsthand that I can't afford contractors to paint. Shit, I can't afford to paint.
Yeah.
But we got we got a whole lot of magazines with pictures that we can cut out and put on the wall and call it creative, call it art, right?
Yes.
So through that period, I had such a demand, and I was talked about through my dating life. I had such a demand for people to say, you need a talk show, you need this, that, and the other. You could be the next Oprah, right? So I always knew I had it. It wasn't the skill. It wasn't the not knowing. But yes, I did, because David and I had built this really big platform through the Social Proof podcast. I wondered, would people get confused?
Yeah, and y'all work for that, because I remember at the beginning you was like, they don't like me like that, or they trying to figure me out, you know, but y'all had to work for that.
We had to work, like, in our space. Podcasting has been around for 14, 15 years. However, in our direct circle here especially, we were one of the pioneers of podcasting. And so we're figuring it out. And David actually started Social Proof Podcast before me. I came on episode 51 or something like that. Okay. We're at episode 369 now.
Wow.
But I came in at episode 51 and the audience wasn't feeling me. For whatever reason, I don't know. And whatever, like, they just weren't. And I considered, like, quitting and telling him, like, protect your brand. Don't let me blow this for you. And Dave's like, nah, we going to do it whether they like you or not. And I'm like, all right.
David is hilarious.
Yes. So we go through and we build this podcast, and people are loving it. And they're finally seeing my personality, and they're respecting what I bring to the table. So it's like, okay, I start this other thing. I didn't understand, because I was not pressed to do it, I didn't have a clear direction of what I wanted to do. Meaning, I know I want to talk about entrepreneurship, but how am I going to make it different than Social Proof? Why wouldn't it just be the same regurgitated information, the same guests, same context, same questions? So that was the concern. And I didn't want to do anything that competed with Social Proof. Like, I'm like, are we going to be in competition?
Right.
I'm competing against myself.
And that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. But we're not in competition.
Yeah.
People the audience instantly saw the line drawn in the sand. I'm very different on Social Proof. Like, I'm dressed today because I wore this earlier this morning on a Social Proof set, right? I probably wouldn't wear this on Full Transparency. So on Social Proof, when I'm about my business, there's no gray area with me.
Period.
And so I am, like, about business. I always look nice, but I'm about business.
Yeah.
But on Social Proof, we have David is very casual. So we get to wear hoodies and, all that stuff. And I love that, because that's a part of my personality. Yeah. And before the podcast, that was a part of my personality that people really didn't get to see.
No.
Because I'm doing in-person coaching sessions and stuff. I got to dress to impress. I'm on stages. I got to be dressed to the nines, baby. But Social Proof allows me to show that sporty, casual side.
Yeah.
But I decided with Full Transparency, although occasionally I'm sporty. If you see me sporty on Full Transparency, I was lazy that morning. Yeah. But Full Transparency allows me to be who I really am, and that's they're both fashionable, but I have more. I think my sex appeal shows a whole lot more in Full Transparency.
Yes.
People see the softer side of me, whereas Social Proof is like, you need to do this with your business, and why aren't you doing this, and blah, blah, blah. And in Full Transparency, it's a conversation like, I miss you, Monrae.
Yes,
you don't get that cute on Social Proof.
No, not at all. But I love it. I love the line in the sand. I also love, because I remember when I first met Donni, y'all, and every time I would see her, she would have her heels on, she would have her hair done. I'm talking talking about freshly pressed,
Yes.
nice top, a little skirt. And I was like, Donni,
Don't forget the cleavage.
Yes, cleavage pushed up to the line.
Yes.
And I was like, Donni is just always so fine. Like, how does she keep this up? But I love.
Are you saying I'm not anymore?
No, well, no.
You said.
I'm saying that other side, that soft side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering where the hell we was going with this. Like you saying I'm anything less than fine right now?
No, you still giving fine, but it was just like the next level done. You know,
Okay.
I'm trying to get $1 million check cut. Done,
I got you.
know
I
what
got
I'm saying?
you. I got you.
So I was just like, wow, like Donni is that girl. You know,
Yeah.
so I love that you get to show both sides because you are multifaceted.
You are too.
Yeah, well.
You are too, and that's why I think that's why we've connected so much.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I really respect about you, it resonates with me, is that you are exactly who you are. You got your little accent, girl. You don't give a damn. You gonna go on any stage and say what you want to say. You are Monrae is who Monrae is to the heart of you, and that's why your brand resonates the way that it does because it's so authentic.
Yes,
and I think that that's why we connected, and I really wanted that relationship with you. And you know, the beauty about what we have going on is like some people will connect with who they need, so to speak, with ulterior motives.
Yes.
And then there are those of us who just connect and we're able, and it's very genuine and authentic, and we're able to get what we need from each other. And here's what I mean by that. Monrae is a marketing expert. I'm a business development expert. And so there have been times where I had questions like, Monrae, how I'm going to do this planner thing, girl, and blah, blah, blah. And Monrae is like, well, break it down for me. Why would I increase my price and how I justify it? I'm not sending her an invoice, and she's not sending me an invoice because we provide this value to each other. But it doesn't feel like, oh, let me call Monrae and invite her to lunch because I got a marketing question.
Exactly. It doesn't feel, because sometimes you in a transactional relationship.
Yes.
You know, they might not say it, but you know it's transaction. You know when they call, they want something, or they want you to do something for them, or they going, hey, sis, you.
Yes.
And they really want you to do this for them. And I think that, you know, in this space, you need those authentic relationships. And I even love, like, for your birthday, we all went to Mexico, and we just had so much fun. Now, listen, I can't wait for y'all to drop this raw and uncut filter, okay, of this trip when they had me working out on this beach. My knee still ain't recovered.
It's so fake too. Y'all, when y'all see it, it's so staged. It's a good get this 30 seconds of this running in place, and then we over here hands on our knees like, God damn.
I'm talking about, I'm in full kimono.
Yes, you are. Your girl come out, she got her makeup on. She got on a fabulous kimono.
Like,
she's expecting a stroll through the sand. I'm like, girl, we about to run up and down this beach. Do you hear me? Because we need this content.
Yes, girl.
And so for reference, we went on this trip earlier this year. First of all, we went on this trip earlier this year. It was supposed to be a mastermind, a birthday gift from my business partner, Dave. It was 3 months after my birthday. But that was a scheduling thing.
Yes.
And Monrae, you know, I got to handpick a group of people that I wanted to come, and you were like a no-brainer. And this year too, girl.
Yes, we are.
And so we wanted to capture like what we do behind the scenes. And right now, and for the last several months, I have been in a space of like focusing on my fitness and my health, because I spent a lot of time last year just really work, or the year before especially, really working, not focusing on balancing relationships and fitness. And so we wanted to capture that on this trip. So even though we had to stage some of the stuff, we really did the work, but we did intentionally stage it, because that's the ghetto part of being a CEO.
It is.
All right, you got to capture this content. How we gonna get it?
Gotta get it.
Yo, Monrae was ready to go. You hear me?
Over it. You know, I gave Eric a earful when I got back to it. I was like, these niggas out there running in the sand.
You know how hard it is to run at full speed on the sand?
Yo, that is in a kimono. I'm winding.
In stretch pants. In stretch pants. It's hot as hell. We in Mexico. We're running full speed on the beach. And then the videographer was like, all right, we just going to get that one more time. Nigga. We're going to do what?
What? Again? And then you want me to say something?
And then you want me to talk?
After I don't got no breath?
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So the part where you see me pass out, that part was not an act.
That was real.
that part was not an act. You hear me?
Listen, that is so, but it was so much fun. I had fun. And y'all, even though that was ghetto, the most memorable part of the trip was not that.
What was it?
it was us at lunch, and Donni asked all of us to give her flowers.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna ask you, baby. Tell me what you love about me, boo. And what happened?
And listen, so we at the table, and she's like, "Okay, I would like everyone to go around the table and tell me why you love me." And so I'm thinking she joking. Like, I'm like, no. And David said there, "Nah, she dead serious." So we all go around, and I was like, you know what? Next birthday, y'all gonna give me my flower. It's gonna be requested flowers.
Yes.
I love that though.
In a relationship, if you're a flowers person
Yes.
and man ain't bringing you flowers, are you gonna not request them?
No.
I need these flowers,
Yes.
and I don't want to have to ask again,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Do you want your flowers when you're dead?
Yes.
I want my flowers. Tell me all that. We only get to do this once a year.
So
Tell me all the
it.
things that you love about me,
Yeah.
because that kind of keeps me going. Also, I appreciate hearing the similarities in the things that people say. And it really kind of like level sets, right? And resets the expectation. The whole purpose of the trip, yes, was to celebrate my birthday, but we were supposed to go into this environment. There were 7 of us, I think, 7 CEOs, and we're there specifically to refuel, recharge, and become re-inspired. And I know that just the flight alone on the way to Mexico, we mapping it out. In fact, this building that we're buying, we mapped that out on that flight.
Wow.
On that flight, we mapped this out. And here we are now, 2.5 months later. 2.5 months later, we're closing on this property in 2 days.
Yes.
So did the trip work, or did that work?
Right. Are you a newly graduated beauty professional where Hair MLS is a service just for you to place you in a salon or shop so that you could be able to succeed in your career? They are here for all students at all experience levels so that you could be able to go to the next level. They're helping service students in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. So you don't have to find a salon on your own. Hair MLS wants to help you today. So what I want you guys to do is click the link below, fill out the application so that you could be able to find the shop of your dreams. One thing that I know as a beauty professional, you have to be connected to the right people. So make sure that you connect to Hair MLS. Now back to the episode.
Sometimes you got to get out of the office and find your inspiration. I work from home. I had to get off of my sofa to find my inspiration. Like working in I don't know how you feel. You work from home now, right? Working from home feels like the walls are closing in on you sometimes.
We talked about this though.
Yes.
We talked about this. We was like, we need an office. We need to go somewhere because it's just too. I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
I cannot breathe.
It's like I'm working right here.
Yes.
Damn, I'm hungry. Let me go right there. Grab me some juice. Dang, I'm sleepy. Let me go right there. And then you're stressed out about work. You come out like, God damn it, this is still in my face. And so like, it's important to share these stories because people are like, ooh, I want to work from home. Ooh, I want a business like that. And I'm like, yo, you have to know not just the good part of what we get at the end of the day, but what does this look? It sounds trivial, but I promise you, after 6 months of working in the same spot on the same sofa, getting the same juice 10 feet away, your bed is 15 feet away.
Not going outside for days.
Not going outside. You ain't seeing nobody because everything you need is here. You've built this fort.
Jail.
You've built your own CEO prison that you're now in. And so like one of the struggles that I'm having in business right now, we have this Patreon, which is, for those who don't know, it's a private membership community. And this is for our Social Proof podcast. You need to do one. Okay. Eric, I'm going to put this out there to you. Monrae needs the membership community for the behind the scenes. All right. So we got this behind the scenes membership community. And David is cool. He's always out of the house. He is cool with having cameras following him from the time he's brushing his teeth to his head hitting the pillow. I don't want all these cameras in my house. You know, I don't want, like, if I'm in the living room doing some work, sure. But you're not coming in my bathroom every week, watching me brush my teeth, do my hair. We might be in between housekeeping weeks. Right? Like, and so I'm never getting out of the house. So the biggest struggle that I'm having right now is manufacturing this behind the scenes stuff.
Because the behind the scenes is this.
This is it. This is what y'all want to see?
Every day.
I I know I'm cute.
But dang.
But dang, how many different angles do you want to see of this face? Like, what we doing? Right. So for me, I struggle with what does that behind the scenes look like? So I have to now cross over into my personal life. Like, if we go to lunch, you getting mic'd up, babe?
Yeah.
Because it's all the behind the scenes I got.
This is the excitement for the week.
This is the excitement for the week. I never get out of the house.
Yeah.
The furthest I go is downstairs to let a guest up on the elevator.
Facts. Facts. And it's crazy because that's actually not even just for your Patreon. That's what people want to see online.
That's what they want to see on social.
And it's like, y'all, I really don't do nothing.
I don't.
Like, I'm working.
Yes.
But like,
it's not interesting.
No, I'm sitting on the
But they're interested. That's the thing that just blows my mind. But I have to think about, like, if Beyonce dropped some behind the scenes right now and she was just brushing her teeth and roller setting her hair, I want to see it.
Yeah. She going crazy.
I want to see it. Right. I remember that she did that one behind the scenes documentary several years ago. And she's like waking up. Ooh, B about to wake up. Let me get that. Let me see that. And so maybe somebody want to see me wake up.
I mean, if they keep watching, then they want to see it.
They want to see it. We're touring. I'm outside touring the building that we're buying earlier today, before I came here, and I'm literally struggling because I'm praying over the building, and the team is like, "Oh, we got to add that to the documentary." Okay, let me start over. Hold on, God. I know dear God. And I get it. Like, you want to see that that's a part of the process. I don't just make decisions like that without including God in them. And anytime I'm about to embark on like a big decision, I pray over that decision and I'm listening for discernment. But there was a moment in that prayer that I got really choked up and emotional. And I literally had the thought of, I hope people don't think this is just for the camera. This is a real moment. And it's not easy having cameras on you so many hours in the day, and you're trying to live your life, and people don't know what's real and what's manufactured. So that's my big struggle right now, like finding enough time and enough excitement to capture this behind the scenes stuff. Look, I don't want to feel like I'm complaining, because we are blessed.
No, absolutely.
We are blessed beyond measure. But it gets real.
Yes, it does.
Gets real. Okay.
It does. And we've literally talked about so many things in business, right? I always say, like, being a CEO is ghetto, but when you think about being a CEO is ghetto, like, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Oh, the sacrifices that I have to make for my business and not me.
Yeah.
So, like, I just got my nails done the other day after 5 weeks of not being able to get to the nail salon. You know what kind of growth you have coming through? Like, I had a nail popped off. Like, there are just things, I don't get to just haphazardly do the things for me. And that might sound really, really small and insignificant to somebody, but when you don't have time sometimes to eat, you don't have time to get your nails done. You can't figure out time to just wash your hair, let alone go get it done because you're busy. You know, I have problematic skin. And so routine chemical pills help me maintain a balance with my skin. But you're going to go through about a 7-day period where you look a hot mess. And so here's a situation where I can't really take care of myself the way I want to take care of myself, because twice a week I got to be on camera. And then y'all want this behind the scenes stuff. So it's more like 5 days a week. So when do I fit in the pill, you know, and me and all of that stuff? Also, being really responsible for other people's lives and livelihood. Yeah. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Like, it's a blessing to be in position to do it. But what about those weeks that you didn't make money?
Because they still want their paycheck.
They still want their paycheck. Like, on the 1st and the 15th, you still want to get paid. But I might have had 2 weeks where 1 week the website was down. And then the second week we got to, you know, nobody enrolled in the program. The sales calls were slow. That really happens in business. Like, you look at these business owners and they're making 7 figures, but they don't tell you about, you know, and 7 figures boils down to $83,000 a month, a little more, right? They don't tell you about that 1 month they only did $20,000. And you're questioning yourself, like, oh wait, is $20,000 a month my new normal?
Right.
They don't that 6-figure income earner who's doing $8,333 a month. They don't tell you about that 1 month. They only did $1,500, and you're panicking like, is $1,500 my new normal? Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
They don't talk to you about the part where you have this offer that's selling like crazy, and then suddenly it just stops selling.
Yep.
And now you got to make something else happen. Like the constant transition, the having to think for myself.
Yes.
Having
at all times.
Having to kill what I eat.
Yep.
Like understanding that if I don't go out there and kill it every single day, I don't eat.
Yes.
That's ghetto.
Yes.
That's ghetto.
Yes.
Right?
It's very ghetto.
It really is. Like when I was employed, I knew what to expect, so I could plan my life.
Yep.
Right? As an employee, I knew that I got 2 vacations a year, 1 week at a time.
Yep.
So I knew exactly, and you got to put in a request for it early in advance.
Right.
So I knew that in February and August is vacation time. I can plan for that. I knew what my paycheck was going to be every 2 weeks because I got paid the same thing.
Yep.
So when I have needs, if I need a tire, if I need this, if I need groceries, I can plan for that.
it.
As a CEO, you don't necessarily get to plan, especially when you're new.
Ooh.
Like, and we're all new money.
Yes,
Okay, like cut through
let's
the bullshit.
Be honest. Right.
We all new money.
Right.
Right. And so we don't have this training yet, and it hasn't happened long enough for me yet for me to be so sure that I can just be planning 3 years in advance, 4 years in advance.
Right.
Like it's still opportunity to opportunity, sales call to sales call, month to month, week to week. Like there are measures that you put in place, but it's not as easy as people think it's not. It's just not as easy as people make it seem to be. And when you have a job and you guys, you do your monthly reporting and things like that, you don't hit your numbers. You sit at that boardroom table and you say, oh man, we didn't hit numbers. And you may have to offer a little bit of an explanation, right?
Yeah.
But as a CEO, when you don't hit numbers, this is your livelihood.
Yes.
This is the team's livelihood.
Yes.
This is the livelihood of so many people. This is your rent.
Yep.
This is your office expenses.
Yep.
And nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you that if your business does $100,000 this month, only about 10 of it is yours.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And again, it's like, oh, she said only 10 of it. Well, a business owner who's doing $100,000 a month probably lives an above average, very abundant lifestyle where $10,000 a month ain't gonna cut it.
No.
Right? So girl, I could go on and
Listen,
on.
and I think a lot of people don't really, and that's why I love that we are having these conversations, right? Because people don't see the other side. Like, you don't talk about like, oh, well, you're going to have to sacrifice. You may not get paid this month. You may not be able to pay your rent on the 1st. You might have to pay it on the 10th because, the 10th is the day that they send it actually to the collections, and the people going to come evict you by the 19th.
Yes.
See, they don't really understand
know.
that it's a whole process that you go through because you're sacrificing for this business.
I went so many times in my history of being an employer where I couldn't pay myself because I wanted to pay my team.
Yeah.
Like I had to sacrifice. I wanted to make sure my team who's trusting me
Yeah.
for their rent and their child care and their all those things, you're not going to suffer. As a CEO, you're the leader of the organization, and the leader always eats last. Don't nobody tell you that. No. Nobody tells you that. When you are an employee and you're working a 9 to 5, you're just concerned with not allowing somebody to tell you when you can go to lunch. When you become an entrepreneur, you might not get the lunch at all.
Right.
Okay? You might have to sacrifice your lunch so that your team can go to lunch. Like there's many a days that I had to stay at my clothing store way back in the day so that people could go and eat. Nobody was available to relieve me. I was the relief. Right. And so that's the thing. Like this is a decision that you really, really have to think through. When you're becoming an entrepreneur, you think, oh, I'm going to be responsible for my time. I'm not ever working a 9 to 5 again. No, you won't ever work a 9 to 5 again. No. You're going to work a 9 to 9.
12
you're going to work
12.
a 6 to midnight.
Yes.
You're going to work a 12 to 12.
Yes.
You're going to work on a Saturday and a Sunday, all days that end in Y.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you that. And nobody tells you that when you're relaxing involves thinking about your business.
Absolutely, because you almost feel guilty for not working on something because it's something you have to work on.
How dare I have the audacity to be away from my phone for a 90-minute massage?
Yes.
How irresponsible. And I can't even lay still for the massage. Like I'm zoned out. Like dang, I wonder if they're trying to call me right now. Like literally going back and forth with my massage therapist because she's like, you got to put your phone down. Like my massage therapist had to put her foot, you know, you got to put your head between that hole on the massage table. Yeah. I'm the one with my phone under the hole, balancing it so I can see. Can you bring that stool over here so I can keep my phone? And there's no quality in that experience.
Right.
So I appreciate now that she's like, give me your phone. Give it to me. Or whatever. Girl, it's a lot. You sacrifice so much.
It's all about a sacrifice. But one thing you talked about in the beginning is that you always have the ideology that you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out. Like, it doesn't matter, you know. And we got a segment on the show called Figure It the Fuck Out. Okay? So we going to draw one of these little scenarios. And you're going to tell us if this happened to you, how would you figure it the fuck out? Okay?
Okay.
So let's see. This is a good one. Your business has not been making money for the last 90 days, and your financial advisors say that you have to let some staff go. You don't want to, but you know you need to make some changes. What's next?
Business isn't making money. I got to make some changes in the next 90 days, and they're telling me to let some people go.
Yeah.
I am probably, instead of letting some people go, I am going to go back to the basics. Like, what was I doing that was bringing in some pretty easy money?
Yeah.
So, and I've experienced this, so I can talk about how I figured it the fuck out, right? So, my business grew to the point where I was only taking on very high-level clientele, right? And initially, I worked with beginners and people who needed a little bit more guidance.
Okay.
So what I ended up having to do, and I delegated so much work.
Okay.
Now, what I ended up having to do to get my business back on track was taking back some of the work that I delegated and serving the audience that made me in the first place. And it was a reminder to me, don't forget about the smaller steps.
Yeah.
So I go back into serving in that space, and I had a conversation with my team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to let anybody go.
Right.
All hands are on deck at this time.
Yes.
And they got it. All hands were absolutely on deck. So instead of focusing on the clients that could pay me $55,000 and $120,000, I went back down and said, what can I sell in my sleep? What can I do in my sleep? I can sell my course in my sleep. I can sell memberships in my sleep. I can do those things. And you have to then make the decision that you are going to not only do those things, but you're going to do it at a very high level. So when I talk about taking the work back, like, I have a content team. And so the content team creates the content, puts that out there. Well, our back is up against the wall now. So that stuff that I stopped doing, like going live every day, we back at it because I know that that's an income generator. So I think the short answer to your question is figuring out, what are my income drivers? What are my what's my revenue generating activity that I can do easily and right now? And for me, that's getting on live, showing the behind the scenes, showing out on my podcast. I know if I do these 3 things, we're going to make some money. So I had stopped doing those things on a regular basis. We back at it like every day. What y'all need to talk about? What we got going on?
Period.
I
love it. Now, y'all, that's how you figure it the fuck out. Okay.
Figure it out.
You have to. And I love that you said that, because that led us to our segue. But I love it because I think a lot of times we feel like we can just, you keep growing in your business. You're like, oh, I don't have to do these things anymore. I can just delegate that. But sometimes you need to go back to the basics. You need to take a step back. So before we go, what should they know about Donni Wiggins? What should they know to keep going? Because they know that this CEO journey is very ghetto.
Yeah. So the biggest thing that I like to talk about is intentionality, right? And everybody is missing, or feels like they're missing, a critical piece to the puzzle. They don't know how to start. They don't know how to grow. They don't know how to scale. And there are 4 words that I like to kind of live by. And it is conceive, believe, act, receive, right?
I like that.
And so what does that mean? A lot of times people have no problem conceiving an idea, right? They have no problem conceiving an idea. And they have no problem understanding what is at stake to be received if they implement this idea. It's the 2 things in the middle that keep most people from reaching their goal. And it's your struggle with your belief, and it's the activity that you're willing to perform. And so when you're struggling with your belief, it's usually because you have somebody in your ear telling you that you're dreaming too big, telling you what you can't do, reminding you of who you used to be, or you're reminding yourself of what you used to be or how you used to feel. And so you're not believing for this result that you're looking to accomplish. So there's a belief issue there, right? But then there's also an activity issue. You're telling yourself, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I still want to be able to brunch. I'm not willing to sacrifice this. I don't know where to start. So the distance between the thought, the idea that you have right now and the result that you're looking to get is your belief in activity. You get that belief together, you get that activity together, you're going to get to the result. And they're going to say, well, how do I do that? Staying plugged into personal development, number one. I'm listening to it. I had a young man in the car with me. He's 26 years old today. I brought him to me to my site visit when I went to go visit the property. And when we get in the car, automatically, like Bob Proctor or something started playing on my radio because that's the last thing that I listened to. And he's like, oh, this is what you listen to all the time? I'm like, all the time. He's like, you don't listen to music? I'm like, sometimes, but I'm in a zone right now. Major action has to happen. We're closing on this building. We got to do some major activity. I know that in order to, we got to put up almost $500,000 cash money in 2 days. That's big belief. That's conception like a mug. I need this result to pay off, right? So that means that I'm working on my belief and my activity, and to make sure it's not about just closing your eyes and saying that you believe. You got to pour into yourself and staying connected. Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, the Reverend Ikes, and these are all individuals, the Miles Monroe, like these are people that I plug into, and even more recently, Steve Harvey and his motivational stuff on YouTube, Oprah Winfrey, Will Smith, like they got it figured out, belief at an all-time high, even when your belief wavers, and it will waver. So you got to intentionally plug into that stuff. And then the activity, just write down what are the basic bare minimum steps that I must take in order to move my idea forward. Don't overcomplicate the process. Simplify the process. The reason that you're scared to take action is because you're confused and you have no clarity around the first step that you're supposed to take, because you've overcomplicated this process. Simplify it as much as possible so that you can at least take the first step. Go get the EIN number. Go get the LLC. Go set up the bank account. Go make that first sales phone call. Go sit down and have that first consultation. Conceive, believe, act, receive.
I love it. I love it. First of all, she just gave y'all a whole mini coaching session right quick. Okay. So if you don't take action, then I don't know what you're doing. Okay.
I don't know what you're doing.
Listen, but I thank you, Donni, for coming to the studio to talk to us about being a CEO is ghetto. Because being a CEO is ghetto, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Ghetto CEO podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you leave a review, because I need all the reviews. We need to know we're doing a good job, okay? And so I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Who the ghetto? Invoice in. That ain't ghetto.